Okay, so you just learned how to prove the Pythagorean theorem, and now we are going to learn how to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so first there are a couple of things that we need to use the Pythagorean theorem. First, we have to have a right triangle. The Pythagorean theorem cannot be used on a non-right triangle. Next, we have to have two known sides of the triangle, whether it is a leg and a hypotenuse or both of the legs. We have to know two sides of the triangle, unless we have more information about it, like its isosceles or something else that would work. This triangle here fits the criteria. We have the right angle and then so we have triangle ABC where two of the legs are known. So let's call leg CB A, leg AC B, and then the hypotenuse AB, we're going to call that C. So this means that A equals 12, B equals 5, and then C is the unknown hypotenuse. So the Pythagorean theorem states that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we plug in the numbers from the triangle into the Pythagorean theorem, then we will get 12 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. 12 squared is 144 and 5 squared equals 25. So that gives us 144 plus 25 equals C squared. And then 144 plus 25 equals 169. So that equals C squared. And then if we just take the square root of both sides, we get 13 equals C. So this means that the hypotenuse length is 13. So here is the completed triangle. Okay, so now let's say we have this triangle here. In this case, we actually know the length of the hypotenuse, and we're trying to find the length of the unknown leg. So if the hypotenuse AB equals C, AC equals B, and the other leg CB equals A, then plugging those numbers into the Pythagorean theorem, we get A squared plus 6 squared equals 11 squared. Note that C in the Pythagorean theorem is always the hypotenuse. Okay, so we have 6 squared is equal to 36, and then 11 squared equals 121. There it is. And then if we just subtract 36 from both sides of the equation, we get A squared equals 85. And then take the square root of both sides. A is equal to square root of 85. So this means the length of the unknown leg is the square root of 85 units long. Okay, so here are a couple of important things to remember about the Pythagorean theorem. First, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. This is the Pythagorean theorem. Next, the triangle must be right. If one of the angles does not equal 90 degrees, then you cannot use the Pythagorean theorem to find a missing side of the triangle. Next, A and B from the Pythagorean theorem equation are always the legs. This leaves C to be the hypotenuse. This is always the case. You cannot add the square of the hypotenuse and the square of a leg to equal the square of the other leg. If you have a hard time remembering which letters are the legs and which is the hypotenuse, just try to remember that leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Okay, so then the legs of the sides of the triangles are always positive. You cannot have a negative length of a triangle. Okay, now you're going to try a few of the problems on your own. If you find that you just don't quite understand how to use the Pythagorean theorem, watch this video again and pay particular attention to the things that you need to remember. Have fun!